So, the the bottom of the deck, so the theme of this 2-week reading is the Judgment card. So you're being called to something. You're being asked to make a judgment about something. You're being reawakened, rebirthed on something. Something that was dead maybe in your heart before is reawakening. The universe is calling you. Come on, Aquarius, you know what you need to do. Come on. And you must know what it is, because the card underneath it's the Ten of Swords. So it is something that has caused quite a lot of heartbreak in the past, and you're being reawakened from it. It's quite a spiritual card, this, and it is it's 20. And so the last card in the Major Arcana is 21. So you're right at the end, and it's calling you to get it to the end. And what I did know, and in fact now look, what I did notice when I put these out, okay, I'm not into numerology. Well, I am into numerology, I just don't know nothing about it. But I did notice we've got XX 20, and now I've picked it up, I've seen under there. There's X. Yep. Okay. And actually, funnily enough, that's the Lovers, and it goes down to a number 2 card. Yep. There's lots of decisions to be made here. So you've got XX there. You've got 1-1 there. You've got 1-1 there. You've got 1-1 there. And how you see yourself and other people see you is half of this, because 5 and 5 make 10. So if anybody is into numerology and that does ring a bell, please leave me a comment. I'd like to know. But there is something about that, most definitely. Okay, so centre of your reading is the Devil card. Devil card talks about being tied to something, often in a very unhealthy, in an unhealthy manner. So that can be drugs, rock and roll, alcohol, cigarettes, watching a certain television program at a certain day on a certain hour, being tied to something. And it can actually talk about carnal lust, but being tied to something that actually is not healthy for you, whether you know that or not. Crossing you is the Knight of Pentacles. It might be another person of the grounded suit, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising. But it could be how you're dealing with this addiction, this being tied to. The Knight of Pentacles, he is the slowest knight in the deck, and he's also the only knight in the deck to get where he's actually going. He plods along in a very practical, thought out, planned manner. And he checks everything that he does as he goes along to make sure it is perfect. His quest here is to get to the king. And he knows that the only way he's going to do that is to make sure everything is done correctly. As a youngster, he liked learning. Whatever he learnt about, he works it, because it is Pentacles, so it is grounded, so it is something that's in existence. So methodically working towards the end game. Well, helping you, I mean, if you're addicted to anything, I mean, anyone will tell you can't go cold turkey. Although some people do, you know, there's an exception to everything. But, you know, if it is drugs, it might be that you're taking, if it's mad drugs, heroin or whatever, it might be that you go off that and go on methadone. Or if it's alcohol, you might, you know, I've got, you know, it might be that it's getting earlier and earlier and earlier every day that you're having a drink. And this fella's making it later and later and later, diligently, knowing what he's doing, you know. So this is you saying, right, next week I'm only having 4 bottles a night, 4 bottles of wine a night instead of 5. So the week after I'm only having 3 bottles of, and then doing that. Even having a list up on the wall and ticking each day that you do it, that would help you. Okay, and I actually see this spread. I do believe that's what you're doing. Lying below you, the Two of Rods. Two of Rods, right, so this is the first two, and there's 3 2s on here, so this is about decision making. But this is lying below you, so you've been doing this for quite a while. So Rods talks about spirituality, beliefs, wants, inspiration, the action in the tarot. It talks about now, and this 2 here talks about a choice having to be made, but this particular choice does have an end result to it. The end result has been laid down, in front of you, and it's a promise of the end result. So it could be, 2 different jobs or 2 different passions. Somebody's offering to join theirs with yours, although you're not even looking at the hand here. You're looking out through your crystal ball to the future to see what this promise in the future that comes with this offer may present. And you've been doing that for a while, because that's looking out at your spread. So you have been doing that for a while. And it could be that the choice you made here put you into this mode here. He's not looking down towards this fella here. He's not looking down here at all. No, it's at the end of this. It's back to that. So it could be you've been, deciding what it is you need to do for a while. Whatever it is you're tied to. It might even be you're tied to your own beliefs. I think, you're working it to see if that's correct. Right, so lying behind you is the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords, known as the Victory card. Can talk about a new relationship with the heart here. But swords being mental, that's your thoughts, your beliefs, your clarity, being very, very, very clear in the mind of your way forward, a new idea, a new inspiration, and going for it. And I do see that this Knight of Pentacles, he's pointing directly towards this new idea, this victory, this clarity, this straight on up, this truth. And indeed, it is directly below our Judgment card. So it could be that you have been pondering around this sort of area here for a very long time. Trying all different things to see exactly what they do and how they fit. And then if they fit for you, keeping them and putting them on the back of your horse and trotting along with you. But if not, no, you're leaving that behind, and then you're trying the next thing to get your clarity of mind. Okay, what lies ahead of you is another choice, another offer. 2 of Cups, this time in an emotional manner. Cups being emotion, so it can be a brand new relationship that's being presented to you. But actually, I think it is a choice that you're making. And so the 2 of Cups talks about, romance and kindness and that type of stuff, being very content. And I think you're making a decision here. You're being called to make a decision for your own happiness. And I suspect that one of those cups is one of those rods, and the other cup is the other rod. Lying ahead of you is the Justice card. So the Justice card talks about justice. So if you've got a court case going on, it will be just, whatever, the end of that is. But it talks about timing. It talks about karma. It talks about balancing back the scales of the universe. It talks about timing. Okay. The time is nigh. Can you hear me? Get on with it. And it's at the back of this Knight of Pentacles. So you're doing the work on a grounded manner. And you're Aquarius, you're an air sign. Is there any other source now? Oh, there is there. But, you're out of your element in these cups and these, put them wrong way around, these cups and these rods. And you need to be in your own head, clear in your own head. And once you're clear in your own head because you've been called to, you'll need to make this decision on an emotional level. And that is correct. It's about time thinking about your own emotion. I am an air sign too, and we're very much in our own heads. But we live on the earth, and we have to live on the earth. So you need to make a decision emotionally. How you see yourself in this situation. 5 of Swords talks about fighting, but it might be that you're fighting with yourself. So the 5 of Swords talks about fighting. Swords being words, untruths, truths, clarities. What's the truth? Fighting verbally, but it is known as a card that nobody wins. Even though the sun is setting on this fight and they're walking away with their swords on the ground, you are still stood there looking at it. And it could be that you're fighting with yourself to try and make an emotional decision. Head over heart, you're Aquarius. Head over heart. How other people see you? Well, crying over your spilt milk. You have a look at how you see yourself, looking towards these 3 swords that are not upon your shoulder. How other people see you is looking, so the 5 of Cups, crying over your spilt milk, looking to the past too much on the emotion that was spilt in your life, head down, afraid to turn round, see what's behind you. Turn round and see what's behind you, because what is behind you is the 2 of Cups. So, I think the outside world is seeing you the same way as you're seeing yourself, head over heart. And on both of them, you're looking into your spread. You are looking to what has happened previously. You're not looking forward. You're not seeing what there is in the future for you. So that way's the past, that way's the future. So there's your past, your 3 of Cups on the floor, spilling its blood. This is the future. Turn around and look at this, because you'd be looking at the 2 of Cups. So you have been very stagnant, and it might be that you're tied to being stagnant because the rest is so frightening. Hopes and fears. Well, you're hoping to have the strength to make that decision. You're hoping you have the strength to shut all that chatter up that's going on around you and taking all your time and your attention. Just nice and gently, let's close that and finish that. Strength card. So that's what you're hoping for. And then your fear would be that you haven't. But the other thing about the strength card, it also talks about sexuality. And I only say that because the devil card there does talk about carnal lust. So you can take that however way you like it. Okay, and the justice card, right next to these 2, except for this fella here is not looking up, is he? No, he can't. He's not looking up. He's not acknowledging this justice card, the same as he's not acknowledging his 2 of Cups. But the strength lady, she's looking right down there, isn't she? At the justice. So it's about time you have the strength. Lift your head up, turn around, see what's in front of you. Let me just look here. Yeah, there isn't one face looking this way. Not one. Not one. It's either in the past, yeah? So in the past, all that way. Happening now. Face out. Happening now. Face out. Okay, your outcome in this reading is another 2, this time the 2 of Pentacles, balancing, juggling. Pentacles, again, it's grounded suit, so it's your money, your job, your house, your home, your neighbourhood, your hobbies, anything that you can touch, and be the currency of love, actually. But it can mean that there's a new job offer. Well, yeah, quite like the sound of that. That'd make you very happy, even if it is 20 hours less a week, isn't it? It can be another home. It can be another home somewhere else. It can be trying to keep hold of your money, keep your money going, but it does indicate that you've got enough on your shoulders and that you're not to take anything else on. but lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of decisions here. It's a 2-week spread. This is an outcome, 2 of Pentacles. So, you know, it looks like you are moving your head through all parts of your passions and your emotions and sorting out them bloody swords and getting yourself to turn round. You know, it's a lot of juggling going on here because it is, everything is here. You know, all aspects of life is here, and juggling them to see which of those pentacles you've got up on your horse and which of those pentacles you want.